Hey there, guys. How are you? How's everybody? I wanted to talk about transformation this evening. I had thought about it after last night, I think, after I got off the horn here. And the word transformation, actually, I pulled up in the dictionary. I love whenever well, not always, but a lot of times when I'm looking to use different words or whatever, I use the dictionary. Or because I actually found out that I was using another word yesterday wrong. I was using the word cavitation wrong. I thought cavitation had to do with the principle of forming a low pressure center, like around a propeller or something like that, because when the propeller spins, it causes a vacuum, which decreases the pressure in the water, which allows bubbles to form. And I thought that was cavitation, but it also, what it does is it causes a whirlpool. It draws in the water around it, and whatever's around it will be sucked into it. So I kind of thought that was cavitation. I was calling it cavitation. And cavitation is actually a destructive aspect of when these bubbles form. They can actually destroy metals and things like that and stuff. So anyway, I was wrong. And I found that out by looking in the dictionary. So I thought about the word transformation. I use it a lot. It's used a lot. Many people use it a lot. You're going to be transformed, and there's going to be rapid transformation, an amazing transformation in your life. And yes, you too can be transformed in your business, your life, your sex life, whatever it is. So I wanted to clarify a little bit what I mean by when I say the word transformation. And I don't think I'm using the correct word in looking at the dictionary. Because transformation, I'll read the definition, a thorough or dramatic change in form or appearance, a metamorphosis during the life cycle of an animal, an individual or spontaneous change of one element into another by a nuclear process, to change in form, appearance, or structure, metamorphosis, to change in condition, nature, or character. Now, it could be okay to use the word transformation, but there's no time element in there necessarily. But the way you use it all the time with self-improvement, I guess, or self-improvement books and things like that, is that it feels like it's like immediate. It feels like, there's going to be a transformation, and today I'm one person and tomorrow I'll be another person if I start this program, or if I, follow meditation, or if you, kind of do that type of thing. It's not, at least not in my experience. I think a better word to say would be evolution. It's an evolution of a process of you changing as you work on yourself, as you improve, as you change. So it's a slow, doesn't always have to be slow, but a lot of times it's a slow, it can be a painful process. It can be a difficult process to change who you are, to look at your identities and identify, observe things that are holding you back, or identities that are holding you back. One of the ones that has been most elusive for me for years and years and years, which held me back, was my victim identity. I identified very, very deeply with that identity. And it held me back for most of my life. However, we don't hold on to identities unless they serve us somehow, or else we would discard them. So it allowed me to hide, which is a good thing. I mean, is a bad thing in some ways, but is a good thing in other ways. For me, it allowed me to hide. It allowed me to not take responsibility for myself in many ways. Take responsibility for my life, where I was in my life, my paycheck, what I did for a living. I just fell into this, well, I went to college, I got a degree, became a chemist, worked for a company, and just fell into that, what I felt now and realized was just a sleep state, an awakened sleep state, where I wasn't taking responsibility for who I was, what I was doing, what I really wanted in life. And that was because of my victim identity. And I was really good at being a victim. If something got difficult, not always, but sometimes it would come out. It would be overridden by another identity, which I'll talk about. But I was really good at being a victim. If something got difficult, or I'd get overwhelmed, or challenged too much, I'd be like, "Oh no, I can't handle this," and I'd go into I'd sleep a lot. I would feel bad for myself. I would go into probably depression as well. But it served me, or else I would have got rid of it, because it allowed me to not step into who I really could be. Because face it, that's friggin' scary. Because if you actually step into who you want to be, what you want to do in your life, how you want to show up, you're probably weird. We're all weird. But when we do that, there's a chance that we could be ridiculed. There's a risk. There's a risk we could be ridiculed. There's a risk that we could be not accepted anymore. There's a risk that we could be rejected. And at least for me and for so many people, I know definitely it was for me. At that time of my life, that risk wasn't worth taking for me. I was comfortable being a victim and staying in that identity. What I discovered is that the underlying reason why I was in that identity most of the time is because I was afraid. I was scared. I was scared of everything and everybody around me. I was afraid of making choices. I was afraid of acting. I was afraid of leaving my state. I was afraid of getting on an airplane, and not so much that I would get hurt or the airplane would go down, or it was more like, oh, I don't know how to make a reservation. I'm not sure how to, I'm afraid it's going to cost too much. What do I do when I get on the airplane? All that stuff that's spun in my mind. And so what it caused me to be is that victim identity, and then become lazy. And that's a very similar identity, and that was another very strong identity for me, because I was labeled that when I was a child. Probably child, definitely teen. I was labeled by my family as being lazy. And it stuck. It stuck with me. And it served me. If you're lazy, well, okay, you can't get this done. You need help with this. You can't stand on your own 2 feet. Kind of thing. So there's benefits. There's always benefits in identities. Even the ones we think we don't like and we don't want. There's always benefits in having them, or else we wouldn't have them. So anytime you are stuck someplace where maybe you're a victim, or you're in pain, or whatever, your pain body, ask yourself, how is this identity serving me? What is it allowing me to do? What am I getting out of this? And it's asking questions like that can really elucidate where you are in the process, and identities that you don't know you have. So now, to get back to it, I had the victim identity, And the opposite of the victim identity was, I guess, maybe the courageous identity, I would say. Well, so let me go back just a little bit. So every identity that you have, and you have many, 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 many of them. You have an identity for every personality in your life. You have an identity of being a child. You have an identity of being an adult. You have an identity of working. You have an identity of being a spouse, a father, a mother, a friend, whatever it is. These are different identities that you have in you. And it's natural, it's normal to have these. It's not. And when you're able to flow in and out of these identities based on your circumstance, that's healthy. That's healthy. It's when you get stuck in a particular identity, in a circumstance that doesn't serve you, is when you have problems and you have conflict. And that often happens if you have two identities that conflict with each other. Because identities are almost like individual little people inside of you. They have beliefs and they have viewpoints. And they will impose those, based on those beliefs, they will impose what they believe. And if you're acting in that place, you will identify with it and you will do what they say to do. And so, for instance, like with the victim identity and the courageous identity, they conflict with each other. So the thing with me was the victim identity is I would have this eternal battle that lasted for most of my life between the victim and the courageous identity, because part of me would be the victim, where, oh, I can't do this. Oh my God, I'm not sure about this. I can't do this. But then there was the courageous part of me that was like, you should do this. You want to do this, and you have to do this. But then the victim would come back and they would battle each other back and forth. And then I would feel guilt, shame, all kinds of different things about myself. When we integrate these identities, these polar opposites, typically they are, like courage and fear or victim. When we identify that they both serve us, no one is better than the other. Each identity has its place in our lives, and it serves us in that particular place, wherever it is. Once we realize that, they can live happily together ever after. They do, literally. You can integrate the two identities, and then you're able to realize that they're both okay, and they're both part of me. So now I have choice. When I want to be in my victim identity, or when I want to be in my courageous identity. So yeah, I got a little bit off of transformation because I was only going to cover the definition of transformation. So anyway, so I think it's not so much a transformation, a rapid, amazing change overnight of how you're going to be from one day to another. It can happen. It can happen. It's an evolution. It's an evolution of, for one, you have to be comfortable in your own skin now. You have to be comfortable in all the things you don't like about yourself, whether it be your appearance. Oh, sorry, that's my meal. I'm cooking spaghetti squash. Sorry. I'm going to pop that off for a second here. Hope it's done. Pardon me, I'm just going to check my spaghetti squash. Yeah. You can look at it with me. I think it needs another 5 minutes. Maybe another 5 minutes. Oops, takes a long time, spaghetti squash. So, anyway. Oh, geez, what I was talking about. Helps if you have a script. I don't have a script. I don't have notes either. I just kind of wing it. So identities, transformation. Okay, so yes. So evolution, it's a process. It's a process of, for one, you have to be comfortable in your own skin now, in this present moment. That's why I talked about the last 2 times about being perfectly imperfect. At this present time, in this moment, in this presence, you are perfect. You know why you're perfect? Because you're here. You're alive. You're doing the best you can. But it doesn't mean that you can't improve your life in the future. That takes work, that takes effort, that takes intention, takes choice. But the first step is being comfortable in your own skin now. Because if you're not, you have to go back and do the work. Because if you're not, then your mind will constantly sabotage anything you try to do over and over and over again. It's a fact. You get comfortable in your own skin now by feeling who you are, feeling who you were, feeling all the icky parts of yourself, feeling all the happy parts of yourself, all of it. Oftentimes looking back at your past, at what bothered you. Because typically, not typically, always, if we don't integrate what happened to us in the past, our experiences, if we push them down and never integrate them, they come back and they will haunt us for the rest of our lives as adults. So you have to go back and look at that stuff and integrate it and feel it. And once you do that, you come to a place of calm and just like, okay, I'm good. And that allows you a nice stepping off platform so that you can now feel what you want to do or who you want to be in the future. Act with intention on trying to get to that goal. And then over time, and believe that you can do it. So that's fab. Fab! That's that fab thing I talk about all the time, which is the process I've gone through all my life. I've just recently identified it, and I teach it to people. So that's the process. Can't think of anything else. Hey there. How are you? Sorry, I can't pronounce your name, but welcome. Do you have any questions for me? So to wrap up, when you hear the word transformation, or you see the word transformation in all the books, and you hear it from the coaches and wherever it's used all the time, interpret it as more of an evolution. It's a process. It's a journey, not a destination that you're going to get to. The beauty is in the journey, not the destination. The beauty is in the growing, as you grow and learn and experience life, not in getting to where you want to be. Because once you get there, you'll be like, oh, okay, well, all right, that's great. I'm here now. Now what do I do? Okay, I guess I'll have another goal. And then you go for another goal. And then you get to that goal, the same thing. So the beauty and the growth and the learning and everything is in the journey, not the destination. So when I say transformation, or anybody says transformation, interpret it as evolution. Slow growth of yourself in your life, what you're doing. And I'm getting my food again. Sorry. I'm checking my butternut squash here. I'd flip it so you guys can see it, but there's my butternut squash. Kind of looks done. I'm going to shut this off now. All right. We're going to clear it off. I'm going to say clear off. I'm going to shut it off. Okay. So yeah, That's what I got. Summary. Feel, act, believe. Feel your feelings. Feel where you want to go. Act with intention. Do things to make things happen. It takes work. It takes effort. No pain, no gain. It's true. Doesn't have to be physical pain. Maybe in exercise and stuff like that, it can be. But then that's just an interpretation too. But no work, no gain. You have to work. You have to do the work. But it works. Trust me, guys. It works. I am proof that it works. And I know other people who are doing this work, and it works. It's amazing. And I was going to say transformation. It'll transform your life. No, it will allow you to evolve in your life at a pace that is comfortable for you. We'll talk about comfort later, but at a pace that is I'm not going to use comfortable. At a pace, it'll just allow you to evolve in your life. It's a good thing. So that's it. So have a great night, guys, and thank you for watching. And I will be back here tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Friday. It's Friday, people. So I'll be back tomorrow. And I'll have a different topic. I don't know what I'm going to cover. What I should do is I should outline the different topics that I'm going to cover each day. But it's like, I don't like that. I just feel like whatever comes up during the day or whatever shows up is relevant and real for me. I can't just make stuff up. And pretty much everything I talk about, I've repeated probably many times, and I'll repeat it again. It takes repetition for us to change and for us to realize things too, and for us to learn over and over and over again. It's really good. Just as we practice, we should be repeating things. All right, so I'm done. Like me, heart me, hashtag replay if you saw the replay, hashtag live if you saw the live, and I will be back. And you guys have a great night. Bye-bye.